Morning, everyone. How are you today? Brand new week. I'm not kind of sure what to do without spending every waking minute on that boat. We're gonna ease our way back into that simple woods life that is all I'm ever trying to grasp. I worked in Toronto, downtown Toronto, for forever, and I bought a little cottage, an old renovated cottage. I drive from there 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, downtown Toronto. Eventually Miss Lady moved into that cottage and we renovated a bunkie out back because the cottage was on stilts, right? So there was no downstairs. So we turned the bunkie into a downstairs. Wooden pine walls and a nice little wood stove in there, and it became my art studio, and it's also our basement, and it was wonderful. We tried to figure out how to raise the cottage and put a basement in it, but the bank told us it wasn't worth it. So we ended up rejigging everything, and just before the market went insane, found this property and have never stopped working. You should just keep rambling there, bud, because it's going over really well. Like everybody, you know, likes a good ramble. I think that's an elk. Sounds like an elk. What do we got going on this week? Well, I'm in the midst of figuring out the trailer. I'm rewiring the trailer because the trailer the lights don't work. And I started taking it apart yesterday after I finished the boat. And Miss Lady's father, I mean, that guy builds things to last, bro. So he had bolts in here that he was using a series of lock washers on so nothing would come off on the road. I mean, it took the better part of the afternoon. I took some time lapse of it, but my goodness, it took the better part of the afternoon for Miss Lady and I to just unhook what he had done, let alone start the wiring. The wiring doesn't seem too complicated. I'm still trying to figure out what these split connectors are all about, but we'll get that figured out. I've got the plates for the new plates for the trailer, and I'm talking to Transport Canada to get the registration of the boat over to me, and I hope this weekend. They say the weather's going to be 22 degrees. We've been going down to 2 or 3 at night, going up between 22 and 25 during the day, which is nice. I like a cool evening. 2 degrees is too much for us to have the bedroom window open, I'm told. I mean, I don't agree with that, but she's really cute, so we don't have the window open. And I've got a number of little projects to do that have kind of fallen to the wayside before we even talk about getting ready for the fall or winter. That woodshed's looking mighty empty. To get this filled up, I got to get some more logs up here. I know of a few spots on some of the trails that have had some big trees come down over the summer and spring. So we're gonna have to spend a couple of days, that won't be this week, but a couple of days coming up out with the quad and the tree straps and the chainsaws and just getting the trails cleared. And we're also gonna have to do a little bit of maintenance pre-winter on the sugar bush just to make sure all the paths are good to go for the spring. It feels like we might be getting some weather this year that is good for duck hunting, especially with those 2-degree nights, because the last few years it's been like 18, 19 degrees in the morning and the ducks aren't there. They're not flying. They're just, I don't know where they are. I'm not a duck expert. I just like to go pew pew at Canard Millard because they're delicious. I don't really care for goose. I haven't found a recipe yet for goose that I appreciate. My brother-in-law makes like goose jerky in the long tubes, but it feels like an awful waste of an animal to just make some jerky and toss the rest. But I don't know, prove me wrong. Plus, you know, goose are always in the parking lots eating the cigarette butts, and then they start migrating. How do I know I'm not getting some dirty Ottawa cigarette goose? You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about? I don't want some dirty Ottawa Walmart parking lot cigarette eating goose named Phil to fly overhead, and I can plow him out of the air, and I'm eating him, and I'm like, this guy tastes like the Maurier. Here's where the boat's going to be parked. Like, I don't even think you can tell because we had one of these tall pines tip come off during a windstorm. You know what I did all summer? I mowed around it. Sometimes I got the whipper snipper out and I whipper snipped around it. But back behind it, I don't know if you remember, I tried to do something last fall with the John boat. I haven't even touched those rails. They're as good as the day they were left there. But that whole area I cleared out. I'd rented a skid steer a couple of years back. Freaking awesome. Awesome machine. So much fun. I leveled this whole woodlot out. Cleaned it all up. That was before I even built the woodshed. And I tucked this area here because I can come down the back path with the truck and bend it all around, hook up the boat, and off we go. So there's quite a bit of room in here. So this week we got to clean up this. We'll take that up, burn some brush, and throw the cover on the boat, and the boat's going to live tucked in there. I'm going back into Toronto tonight. The whole family is going to see the chicks. Miss Lady and I saw them 7 years ago, I think, when they were still the Dixie Chicks. Lots of stuff to do that's nice and simple. So there's your week. My coffee's done. Well, let's get to work. Oh no, going to the Dixie Chicks tomorrow morning. We'll get straight to work. Morning, everybody. Very little sleep, but what a show, what a night, what a fun time. I took a little bit of video, you know, and threw it in there, but like, I'm not gonna miss the concert doing video for you. Go buy a ticket, see them yourself. I know that they've become like a political band, and you get divided in the country music realms of like, are you a chick support? I like the tunes, I like the ladies, that's all. Okay? I don't care about the rest of it. If you know me, I listen from everything from like Roy Orbison. I'm talking like, what was the last concert we went to before this? Was, I think, Iron Maiden. We were at Rush before that. We went and saw Danzig. And before Jerry Only came back, Doyle von Frankenstein came in and played a bunch of sets of original Misfit stuff, and we did a road trip to Detroit for that, you know. We've gone to see No Doubt. We've gone to see, Kings of Leon. Don't try and pigeonhole me musically, my man. I can't be pigeonholed, bro. Okay? I got Action Bronson spinning this morning. I'm spinning Bjork this afternoon. I got some Trisha Yearwood over here. Amon Tobin playing off on the background somewhere over there. I got the original Red Hot Chili Willies before they sold out, when they were doing stuff like Yertle the Turtle and the Uplift Mofo Party Plan. Okay, I saw the Ramones at Wonderland, bro. And I saw Roger Whittaker down there at the Hummingbird Center when I was a young boy. So you can't pigeonhole me just because I like the chicks, okay? If Carcass was playing tomorrow night, I'd be there. And I'm extremely excited about the fact that Wu-Tang with Nas and special guest De La Soul coming October 1st. Miss Lady, if you're watching this video, write it down, hint, hint. Okay, so this morning I got a little bit of time before work, and our potatoes have, all the leaves have died. Waited a couple of weeks. And now I'm gonna put a shovel in the ground and see what's what. We'll find out, right? And because I have no more totes, I'm using an old cooler lid from a cooler for a project I've got that I've been noodling around with some scraps of cedar. Oh, look at this little fella. Well, hello, little potato. You are so wee. What a tiny little potato. Well, that's a nice big one. Should there not be like way more potatoes here? I suppose that's a decent haul. I should weigh it, figure out what it is. Let's say 10 pounds. I'm finding the concept of the raised garden bed kind of limiting, but I'm also not sure with the geothermal where our loop sits, how low it sits, because it can come up, right? And I don't want to be tilling back here and then, uh-oh, we have no more heat in the lodge. I wonder if this is a case of they're not able to get deep enough, or which, if that's the case, I can always raise the bed, I guess. Add another stack and more soil. Our marigolds did incredible. Probably the best thing in this garden other than the tomatoes. As far as the tomatoes go, we've been bringing them in every single time we see a number of them starting to blush. Let them ripen, and we've been using them, you know, in salads and curries and on burgers, and there's nothing better than a homegrown tomato. Like, nothing beats it. Oh my God, except, you know, farmer's corn. Our corn, I don't know what happened. It's so wee and tiny. And I was reading about it, and apparently there's a possibility of not enough nitrogen in the soil. We've also had a wackadoo summer with the weather, eh? 3, 4, 5 inches of rain a week, and then nothing for 2 weeks. And then, you know, another 4 inches of rain in a couple of days, and then nothing for a week and a half. Like, it's been scorching hot or completely torrential downpour. So I know that's put a strain on some of these, because Miss Lady was reading about our jalapenos and our peppers have, for lack of a better word, stretch marks. And apparently that is due to, there's nothing wrong with them, you can eat them, but it's due to the strain they're feeling between bouts of rain and not enough rain. Who knew? We still have a couple jalapenos. We're gonna pop them off. They're not the size I wanted. I wanted them bigger. We did okay with our green peppers. We did okay. Now, our pumpkin patch I have been fighting with all summer long. When this kind of thing happened, I would gingerly bring it over here and try and keep it within the bed. So there are vines here that, should they have had their way, would be far, far further out. And let me show you where I didn't get to it in the last couple of weeks. We were getting a lot of problems with the pumpkins' leaves having that sort of weird white powder on them, and I thought maybe it's something I'm doing, so I stopped touching them. And of course you can see it taking over here. And this is coming, well, a good 10 feet up from where it was planted. The weird thing about the pumpkins is we've only got one pumpkin. We learned all about male flowers and female flowers, and we've had so many beautiful blossoms, but nothing. And a couple of folks from Miss Lady's old hometown were posting their gargantuan pumpkins on the Facebook. And we were at one of the fall fairs, and of course I had to take a photo with Miss Lady in front of a giant pumpkin. We're not there. And again, I don't know if it's maybe something I've done with the soil, if it's the box, if it's the growing year, what? I don't know. But after everything that's grown and blossomed, we have this one. And that's it. One little pumpkin. We're gonna carve it, don't worry. This is all pumpkin, all the way up here. The pumpkin is now growing on the squash trellis. And our squashes, we've harvested a couple. There's a nice one growing. Didn't get a ton of success with that, but we're gonna try that again next year for sure. Pumpkins we're gonna try again, but we've got to figure out what to do so they're not gonna be in here. We'll probably make this berries. getting a little long in the day. We've only maybe got an hour and a half until the sun's down. But I'm thinking I can get this cleaned up relatively quick. At least just kind of brushed out, right? And I would never, on a normal day, run a chainsaw without chaps and a helmet, but I got 2 cuts to make, so I'm hoping this is not regretted. I'll load those logs over there, I'll buck them later, but just clean up some brush now, eh? One thing I didn't mention, I brought the truck back. Why would you bring the truck back? And is that a dog? Yeah. Yeah? You just hanging out? I know. And she's been having some trouble all week. You know, gastro kind of trubs. And we've noticed a significant amount of weight loss. Took her down to the vets this morning and they're like, oh man. I don't know if you can hear the quads running back there. But they're like, oh man, she's down like 4 kilos since August, which is like 8 to 10 pounds, which is 10% of her body weight. 15% of her body weight? Anyway, got a bunch of blood work done. Miss Lady's off for the evening. The kiddo's off for the evening. So it's just Dickles and I hanging out. Normally I'd let her play out here, chew all the sticks and everything, but she's on like a super regimented diet. She's on all kinds of medication and stuff at the moment. That's her just hanging out in the truck while I do this. The thinking is, once I get the fire going good enough and all this is cleared out, she can sit outside with me on a leash and we can have a little snuggle and a beer and watch the fire before we make dinner. Let me get the rest of this cleaned up and then we'll hang out, okay? Yeah, then we'll hang out. She's the goodest girl. I've got a regular, like a boat cover you got at Canadian Tire. One of the things I was thinking of doing, you know, like a carport, right? Like we've got more than a seater here. So there's a lot of dead standing. There's this method I've seen some people do, and I'm gonna butcher the name, but shosugiban, which you lightly burn, lightly char the ends of cedar. So when you place that into the ground, the carbon buildup or whatever additionally protects the wood, right? Like cedar's an insect repellent in and of itself, but insect and rot and everything else. So I'm thinking if I got 6 or 8 good-sized cedar timbers, maybe, I don't know, 11, 12 feet tall, bury them 3-4 feet, and then built just a simple, you know, roof line on it, a little bit of metal roofing. That would help me with sticks, rainfall, snow load, stuff like that. And, oh, geez, there goes the camera, because there goes the dog. Hey, okay, I'm gonna... And if any of you who are new to the channel are wondering, you know, what's with the leash? Well, this is Dixie. I don't know if you've met Dixie. This is Dixie. Say hello to the camera. Dixie is a Doberman Pinscher. They were originally bred as companion dogs, as protector dogs by, I think it was Louis Doberman, who was like a money collector or some kind of stuff. They're incredible dogs. Absolutely wonderful. And if you've ever seen an aggressive one, then the owner trained it to be that way. But this girl has got a prey drive like you would not believe. And because we didn't live in the vast open wilderness that we do now, we lived on like a very small sort of less than an acre cottage in the woods, she never really got to just be off-leash, so to speak. Now, when we take her to off-leash dog parks and stuff, she respects the boundaries. No ifs, ands, or buts. But even if I put up a 6-foot wall around here, it's different. When she's at a dog park, she's on vacation. When she's here, she's got a job to do. And she doesn't let anything come on the property. Because if she hears a grouse or if she hears a, you know, whatever, she's gone. And silhouette-wise, she resembles a small deer. And I don't need anything happening to this baby in the woods by somebody who shouldn't be in the woods. All of that said, whether or not I build that out of the cedars we've got, or I just get, you know, some 6x6s and do it dimensionally, I think kind of a carport there would be cool. Whether I get to that this fall, everything in me wants to say, I can't imagine that would be a very complicated job. But I don't know, I've never built a carport. So, I don't know, maybe it would be complicated. I'm just giggling because I thought the boat would just take a weekend or two. It would now. Now that I know all that I know, yeah. I could wire that boat in a morning. Easy. Anyway. Dickies and I are alone for the evening. So I think we're going to make a burger. And we're going to hit the hay early. Get up in the morning and get back to it. See if I can't get that trailer figured out, wiring-wise. And then we can jump into the jump. And something about the biscuit. I can't remember how I used to say that, but it's a saying now, so write it down. Hey everybody, look who it is. Look at, no, nobody can see you. Look. I don't know why she hates being on camera. It's really sunny. It's super sunny out. Can't see anything. So here's the deal for the day. I want to get this boat on the water. We had a family breakfast. I enjoyed every moment of it. But I need to run the trailer lights. And I've watched so many videos on it, I feel like I'm possibly capable now.
Possibly capable.
Looks like it shouldn't be too long to do, so I'm hoping an hour? Is that fair? An hour. Let's give it an hour. And if that works, then, geez, it's bright out though. Boy, oh. Boy, yo. Give it an hour. And if we can do it, then it'll be done.
I just looked at Miss Lady and said, are we done here? Because I'm on the road again. Cut the electrical wires for the trailer, took off the rubber grommets. I'm up there at the tongue where the sides connect, trying to tug on it. It's not doing anything. And so I go to the other end and I tug, and Miss Lady tugs, and we're just sort of, we can feel a light tug, but it's not doing anything. And then it snaps. The cord snaps, and we tried feeding, I've got alarm, like low voltage alarm cord, alarm bell cable. It wouldn't work. I had some long galvanized wire. It wouldn't work. We tried even the RV wire. It wouldn't work. Nothing's rigid enough. Kind of keeps getting caught in the trailer. So I should be in the water right now. It is 23 degrees with a light breeze. It's lovely time. But I'm driving back to town.
I went and got this electrical cable snake, mini cable snake. It's even got a spot to go on my belt. Oh, whoop-dee-dee. Well, here's the long and short of the boat. We kind of got hoodwinked. Got everything wired. Absolutely everything works except the marker lights. Those two marker lights at the front thing, the ones I took out that were incandescent had a bolt. Went through the trailer, bolted on the other side. That bolt acted as a ground up against the trailer. Cool. The new LED lights, they don't have that bolt. They screw in, so no problem. I screwed holes, and in fact, where the bolt used to go was great. I ran the wire through there. Well, it's two wires. It's a white and a brown. And I know that the brown with these splice connectors, is supposed to hook to the brown that goes through the length of the trailer. And we've got turn signals, brakes, running lights. We've got everything working. I'm super stoked. And Ms. Lady made it all super neat and tidy. She loomed the loom like a loomer. And everything in my brain hole is telling me that the white wire off of this is a ground and the brown wire goes into the wire of the trailer. But everything else on this trailer packet that was a ground came with a ring terminal already attached. So I'm like, is it a ground? Or is that meant to attach to it? And the instructions suck. Shame on you, Canadian Tire. So I'm gonna spend a little googly googler time to figure it out. And then the next big video, I'm hoping we're gonna be on the water having a great old time. The next video, however, will probably be a little bit more simple woods life. Fun on the quad, checking the trail cams. I haven't checked these trail cams since the spring. Some of them since last fall. So we'll be checking those. I'll be bringing along a satchel full of batteries because I'm sure some of these are dead. And bring the laptop and a thermos of coffee, and we'll hop on the quad and we'll tour the property, and we'll see what kind of animals. Hopefully there's no mythical monsters or Sasquatches, Sam Squanches, Yetis, Indomitable Snowmen. Hopefully there's none of those big old hairy bastards on here. And that's what we're gonna do. Thank you very much for watching. I know it was a lot more talking than we've done lately, but it's kind of nice not to work on the boat. I'll figure out those trailer markers. You know, got some barbecuing to do anyway. 'Cause I'm hungry. And so's the family. And it's nighttime, almost. It's late anyway. 6:21. Come on, guys. Catch you on the flip-flop. This is Jay from Simple Woods Life, reminding you, don't forget what you need to remember.